Russian man like inside the dark, call me Bill Snatcher. Just the brother for the rapture. I hang live, holding on strong, hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a garden and start killing. It's manifesting. The God's work like appliances, dealing in my sight like a lot.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another discussion for Boruto Naruto Next Generations. And today, we're going to be discussing a major question / cause of concern that a lot of people have with the current manga arc, which is, where in the world is Sasuke Uchiha? The last time we saw him in the manga, Sasuke was looking over at the Jonin, who was studying Code's claw marks that allow Code to teleport between markers, very similar to the Flying Raijin, and Sasuke stated that they are all wasting their time. He said that if it was up to him and he was the one placing those markers, that he'd have them set in a different location if he was going to invade the village, and that these markers were only a distraction, that he can't believe that Shikamaru came up with such a basic plan. Now, ever since then, the questions and theories about where Sasuke's been have been running rampant in the community. Some of them which I've obviously covered in the Boruto fan theory playlist, where I look at the theories that you guys send me. I've gone over scenarios where Sasuke was going to show up at the last minute to save Boruto from Code, or save Naruto from Borushiki, and it would cause Code to retreat in the battle. Others had Sasuke out searching for Code's hideout, which is the former base of Boro. Nobody knew where Sasuke was, which is why the designer I used for this thumbnail decided to make a meme of Sasuke training with Zoro, because just as Zoro gets lost, it seems like Sasuke's lost as well. So why not have the two of them meet each other on a thumbnail? Now, on a serious note though, I've seen people upset that Sasuke didn't participate in this current battle. They're asking where Sasuke could have been. I've seen people say it's been very disrespectful to allow Sasuke to not be on the battlefield when all this went down. Two main reasons I've seen people point to is that Sasuke could have been used to make Code retreat, or be the one that revived Boruto from his death. The second reason is that people say that Sasuke should have been the one that killed Boruto instead of Kawaki, because we've had character moments where Sasuke promised to kill Boruto, and we have additional lines in the anime where Sasuke says that his love for Boruto kept him from fighting at full power against Borushiki, but the next time that this happened, he wouldn't hesitate to use full power to take down Boruto, because he felt that he owed it to him as his master. Now, on that second point, outside of the obvious plot reason for setting up future conflict with the character of Kawaki, I understand why Kawaki was used to be killed for Boruto for that reason, and I can understand this fan's suggestion that, hey, Sasuke should have been the one to kill Boruto. I agree with that. It would have been a major payoff for the character of Sasuke. Boruto asking Sasuke to kill him would have been more heartbreaking, and the shock that it would do to Naruto would destroy his mind even more than what we already saw when Kawaki was the one who did the dastardly deed of killing Boruto. However, if Sasuke had done this, Sasuke's words would have reached Naruto about being Hokage, and they wouldn't have fallen on deaf ears like they did with Shikamaru, because Naruto would have been more in tune with Sasuke's voice. Even if Naruto had been so severely nerfed that even Sasuke couldn't reach him, do we really think that Sasuke, had he been there on the battlefield, would have passed up the opportunity to kill Code? The answer is very likely not, especially with Kawaki doing as well as he did. Between Kawaki shrinking the claw marks with his Sukuna Hikona and Sasuke's Amaterasu, it would have been over with for Code. They would have been smoking that Boruto pack, and they would have been serving up them Code steaks. However, option one is the one where I kind of draw a line with this fan outrage for where Sasuke is. This idea that after making Code retreat, Sasuke could have been the one used to revive Boruto instead of Momoshiki, converting the 18% of his DNA and restoring Boruto's damaged heart and lungs. I'm going to push back, and I'm going to ask a couple questions. Do you really know what you're asking if you're suggesting this? And if so, how far did you think this out? Now, I don't say this as a knock, and it's far from it. I've covered a bunch of fan theories that I personally don't believe in, because it's good discussion fodder for us as a community. As part of the joy of covering an ongoing series is to throw all your ideas out there, see what sticks, and have the community talk about it. It's no different than what we used to do on the internet forums back in the day when Naruto was a weekly manga, or what you currently do when you go on Reddit, or you make a TikTok video, or you post stuff on Twitter. Same energy. However, this one right here, this is a bad idea in my opinion. Before we got this new revelation that karma could be used to convert the remaining data of an Otsutsuki to bring a vessel back from the dead, there weren't many options of revival, and the ones that we did have in the Naruto series were for Lifejutsu. Imagine if Sasuke had used Chiyo's jutsu to give his remaining lifespan to revive Boruto. Fans would rage and they would cry cancel Boruto. Of course, those are likely the same fans who are still calling Boruto a disrespectful brat who has daddy issues and who doesn't train for his power, which means that they're still stuck in 2017, back when Boruto was just starting out as an anime and Naruto Shippuden had just wrapped up his final episode. Ah yes, the good old days according to the old man who screams at clouds. Seriously though, killing Sasuke off in this manner, no matter how beautifully done, would have led to outrage from a very vocal minority online. And the other thing too is that let's just assume that if Sasuke had already cut on his Sharingan, done the hand signs, and performed Izanagi and extended the effects to Boruto via what we saw as possible via the filler portion of Naruto Shippuden's anime episode where Izanami was being explained by Itachi, then you can imagine the outrage that would have came when Sasuke sacrificed his only remaining Sharingan to rewrite Boruto's death, which potentially means by extension bringing him back to the moment where his karma will still be able to be used to revive Momoshiki. People would have said rightfully that he sacrificed his eye for nothing, and even if he was able to do so in a way to where Momoshiki's karma didn't return to its prior state and Momoshiki's data would not be able to be continued to extract into Boruto, people would still bitch about the fact that Sasuke's now blind with no eyes, walking around like Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen. Only the difference is that when Sasuke lifts his blindfold, there's going to be no cool domain expansion type power up. It's just going to be a blind Uchiha who can't see 2 feet in front of him and probably doesn't have any chakra if you let all the memes tell it. But when most fans consider you to be absolutely useless in the manga without the Rinnegan, what good is chakra anyway? Look, in my opinion, having Sasuke away from the battlefield made perfect sense in my opinion. Sure, I made the joke on the thumbnail about him training with Zoro somewhere, and you have idiots who will write clickbait in the comment section because they didn't watch the video, even though I literally addressed the title and thumbnail in the video, which is a side note, we really got to learn the difference between clickbait and hyperbolic / flamboyant exaggeration. Shouts out to Vertasium on the in-depth video explaining the difference, and the same with Grand Line reviews on his channel, Dude in the Room. I do think that keeping Sasuke away from the battlefield was a really good choice. We got real conflict and we got real tension as a result. The fact that we kept asking over the last few months, when was Sasuke going to show up, or wondering how he would show up, is proof that the line about Sasuke doing his own investigation into Code is something that worked. It got you as a reader invested in wondering would Sasuke show up and theorizing how this would happen. The lack of Sasuke on the screen made the moment when Naruto is being begged by Shikamaru feel that much more urgent, because there was nobody else as a combatant who could get there on the battlefield to assist Kawaki, because we all know that if Sasuke would have been there during that time, it would have led to a beatdown. By not having Sasuke there, we got the plot twist of Damon being the one that takes out Kawaki via that attack, and the reveal that it was all part of Code's plan to get his limiters removed. If Sasuke was there, don't you think someone as cool-headed as Sasuke would have thought maybe before we go back to the village, we should make sure that none of us been marked by Code's claw marks? Honestly, it makes more sense to go the less is more route from a storytelling perspective when it comes to Sasuke for this very reason. Now, how do you pay it off? That's the million-dollar question. If he arrives late to the battlefield, the memes will never stop, and God knows I will be making memes and jokes about it. However, if he's also heading off to other villages to compare where the markers are to confirm his suspicions, then fine. It's intel gathering. Sasuke always updates his stances as he gets new information, totally in character. If he's on the other side of the Land of Fire or he's trying to track down Boro's hideout, that's also fine because it moves the plot forward. Either way, I'm fine depending on how all this shapes out. In the meantime, let's just enjoy this fantasy that Sasuke was secretly training with Zoro or helping the Straw Hats fight against Kaido, because It sounds funny, and it's a good way to trigger the idiots who are going to write clickbait just based off of the thumbnail. Even though, again, I literally talk about my title and thumbnail in each and every video, which is why the occasional thumbnail from now on is going to be me trolling that small minority of idiots who like to say, hey, this is clickbait, even though it technically isn't. However, I want to know from you guys, where do you guys fall on this perspective? Do you think Sasuke is looking for Code's hideout? Where do you think Sasuke is? And do you think keeping Sasuke away from this battle in the manga was a good idea? Let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.